and today I'm going to show you how to do a hime cut. Let's get into it. So look how it's like tucking right here. So that's where I'm going to want to take my fringe section to. So I'll draw a parting. And now we can comb the rest of this hair back. And that should be pretty ideal for our hime cut fringe. If I have a diagonal forward parting, when this hair combs to the side, notice how now it can lay over the sides that are tucked really nicely. So it prevents you from seeing a part line right there where the hair splits. So I'm starting with a horizontal subsection that we're going to use to create our guide. Make sure you use a clip to keep the rest of the hair out of the way as you cut. You want to make sure that the hair is being combed away from the eye because the hair is not going to be living in front of the face when the client wears their hair. And now I'm going to go ahead and make my cut. And now I want to keep this hime fringe kind of on the long side, so I'm leaving it a little below the jawline, and that's going to be where we start our guide for the cut. But you're going to comb horizontal subsections and then just connect them down to your guide. So I'm going to actually recomb this because you could see it wasn't clean. Now I have minimal tension, fingers are on the side of the face, and now I can just connect to the guideline. Right? Comb the hair into natural fall and cut your line. You can always create a guide from the front first. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to position the hair outside of the face, and then we're going to find where we're going to cut our guide. Take the entire section, combing it down into natural fall, finding that guide, and our fingers are positioned on the side of the face, and then just making a horizontal cut all the way across. Putting a little bit of the Kenra Platinum Blow Dry Mist into the hair. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting a nice sleek finish to the hime cut before I do any dry cutting. You want to make sure that the root direction is getting the hair out of the face. So just take a brush and then get those roots blow dried towards the side. And then you can finish off the ends with your flat brush just to get them nice and smooth. At this stage, if you notice any stragglers, you could definitely just trim those off. I'm just using no tension and just looking for any stragglers at the very ends. Now I'm just going to blow dry the rest of the hair into the shape so that you can see how the hime pieces flow into the rest of the haircut. And then we'll come back to do any final refinement at the end. Here's the hime cut after drying and flat ironing with the rest of the hair. So you can see the clear disconnect between the hime pieces and the rest of that length. But because of where we sectioned that hair, it doesn't really take away all of the density and hair that we have on the sides. The key is really where you're sectioning that hair. So you see when you tuck the hair behind, you still have this nice customized hime overlay that can sit really beautifully and contour the face. So from the front, you just get that nice tuck, and you can see that beautiful hime cut. So I popped a couple extensions into the hair. It's not the exact color match, but I really love this haircut on especially long hair. And once you get the length where you want it, you can go through with the texturizing scissor and just soften up the ends of the extension. So you're essentially just taking away even more density to make the ends look more natural. Because you can kind of see how because you've stacked so much hair, it really builds up. So the ends get to be really solid looking. So now instead of point cutting and just like shredding and taking away more length, I'm more so going internally with the texturizing scissor and just removing strands of hair until I start to see that natural space form between the ends. But just always make sure to comb the hair back down and check it as you're working. And that's going to allow you to really look and see what you're creating. So I'm just going to frame the very front and just add a little bit of angling so that the perimeter edge matches. So you can see where I want to get that angle. You can just cut that in there. So the aesthetic of the client also makes a difference, because if your client is grungy and kind of cool, they'll probably want their ends to feel a little dirty and piecey, where a glam girl might prefer to have that freshly cut at the salon kind of a look. I am laughing inside a little bit because I know that someone is watching this video and saw me take all of that extension length away and is like, why would I do that? And like totally relatable. Those were just so long, like unnaturally long, and I wanted to show a realistic version. But like if you have like 23-inch hair and you want to add 1,000,000 inches of extensions, like you go. I'm all about long hair. But regardless of the color not matching, you can see the nice blend we got with the cutting techniques from the extension. Now that the hair is pretty much styled, you can just go ahead, check your line, see if you want to cut any more. I kind of like the bluntness right here, so I'm just going to leave it. And I'll also check on the other side. So you comb the hair into natural fall. If you wanted to take away that blunt line and kind of soften it, you can just work to the very tips of the hair and just insert the shear parallel, slightly point cutting. So because the shears are matching the line, it's not going to remove that blunt line, but it is going to make it a little more transparent because of those micro cuts. So it takes away a little bit of space while keeping the shape of the line. So you can customize the hair however you want to, honestly. You could even face frame with a Hime. There's so many things you can do. You could also add a little bit of bangs if you wanted. So you could just put in these little pieces of hair, like that little section, and then just cut. And that would be a great way to finish off the bang. But we're going to show you a couple other cuts on this head, so I'm not going to add bangs to her. We're just finishing off the styling with a little bit of shine spray. So shine spray is really good to get the look sleek and almost super flat. So especially with extensions, it's really good for blending. And with the Hime, it kind of deflates the look of the width on the sides. So you get this nice, beautiful shape. And the great part about this haircut is you can also style it so that the Hime part doesn't really stand out that much. So if you add just a little bit of a bend into the ends, you can almost turn it into more of a curtain bang. And that gives it a blend that won't make it stand out and look too blunt compared to the rest of the haircut. So you can see how easy it is to erase the Hime if you want to style it in a different way. And that's one way to do a Hime cut. Remember, the key is to comb the hair away from the eyes so that when the client wears their hair natural, they can get that Hime look without it falling in their face. Let me know what you learned in the comments, and if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, and it'll tell you every single time I upload a video. But until then, good luck with your haircuts, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye!